Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. The NFL offseason has been anything but dull for the Washington Commanders. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, a lot of tension, and some moves that could really shake up the NFC East this season. And I'm not just talking about the usual roster shuffles or draft picks. No, the real story here is about a potential game-changer at wide receiver, a player who has been instrumental in the team's offense, and whose future with Washington seems more uncertain than ever. You see, the Commanders have been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons lately, especially when it comes to their star wide receiver, Terry McLaurin. Now, if you've been following the team closely, you know how important McLaurin has been over the years. He's not just a player, he's the heartbeat of Washington's passing attack. Since entering the league, McLaurin has been a model of consistency, producing at least 0 yards in 5 of his 6 NFL seasons. The only exception was his rookie year, but even then, he showed flashes of brilliance that made everyone realize what kind of player he'd become. Last season, McLaurin fully exploded, with 82 catches, 96 yards, and 13 touchdowns, proving once again that he's one of the most reliable and explosive receivers in the league. But here's where things get complicated. The contract negotiations between McLaurin and the Commanders have hit a stalemate. The team has been firm in their stance, refusing to meet his financial demands, and now, things have escalated to the point where McLaurin has requested a trade. Imagine that, one of your top weapons, a player who's been nothing but a consummate professional and a key piece in your offense, demanding to leave just before the season kicks off. It's a tense situation, and it puts Washington in a precarious position. They're caught between wanting to keep their star receiver happy and the reality that a deal just isn't happening anytime soon. This kind of standoff can be dangerous for a team. It affects chemistry, it puts pressure on the coaching staff and front office, and it forces the team to consider how they're going to replace or supplement such a vital player if he's traded away. And let's be real, the Commanders can't afford to be missing depth at the wide receiver position. They've built a solid core, with Deebo Samuel as a key presence, but losing McLaurin would be a huge blow to their offensive firepower. So, the team might need to look elsewhere to shore up their roster, and that's where things get interesting. Now, I want you to pause here for a second. Because if you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it really makes a difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. While all this drama unfolds, the Commanders are exploring options to bolster their receiving core. And here's where it gets really intriguing. A veteran wide receiver who's been around the league, who's still capable of making big plays, and who could slip right into this team and make an immediate impact. I'm talking about Amari Cooper. Yes, Cooper is currently a free agent, and the rumors are swirling that Washington might be seriously considering bringing him in. Now, Cooper's recent season was not exactly the highlight reel he's known for. He split time between the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns, finishing with modest numbers: 20 catches for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns with Buffalo, and 24 catches for 250 yards and another 2 touchdowns with Cleveland. Not stellar, but it's important to remember that Cooper is still a proven veteran, a guy who can step in and produce when needed. And he's hungry to prove himself again, to show that he still has that spark that made him one of the league's most reliable targets. Imagine the potential of a core group of wide receivers, including Deebo Samuel, McLaurin, and Cooper. That's a trio that could absolutely terrify defenses. Each possesses a unique skill set, Deebo with his versatility, McLaurin with his route running and explosiveness, and Cooper with his veteran savvy and possession ability. If Washington manages to bring Cooper into the fold, not only would they be adding a fresh dimension to their offense, but they could also gain some leverage in their ongoing negotiations with McLaurin. Because let's face it, having that kind of depth at wide receiver gives the team options and flexibility, no matter what happens with McLaurin. And don't forget, Cooper's signing could serve as a strategic move. If McLaurin gets traded, Washington would still have a solid, experienced target to lean on. If McLaurin stays, then having Cooper on board only makes their offense more dangerous. It's a win-win situation for the team, especially as they set their sights on making a serious Super Bowl run this year. Washington has been all in on that goal, investing heavily in their roster, in their coaching staff, and in their ambitions. They're not just trying to compete, they're trying to dominate, and adding a veteran like Cooper could be the push they need to elevate their offense to the next level. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate what this means for the NFC East. The division has always been competitive, full of teams with star power and playoff ambitions. But if Washington manages to stabilize their wide receiver core with someone like Cooper, while also holding onto McLaurin or replacing him effectively, they become even more dangerous. The division rivalries will heat up, and every game could hinge on which team has the better offensive weapons. And speaking of the season ahead, the NFL landscape is watching closely. The NFC East is shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions in recent memory. The Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, they all have their strengths, but Washington's potential to surprise everyone hinges on how they handle this receiver situation. If they pull off signing Cooper and resolve their issues with McLaurin, they'll have a formidable trio that can challenge any defense in the league. But let's not forget, nothing is certain yet. The negotiations with McLaurin could still take a turn, and the team's front office might have to make some tough decisions. Trading McLaurin would be a blow, no doubt, but it might be necessary if they're unable to reach an agreement. And in that scenario, Cooper's addition could soften the blow, providing stability and experience to the offense. It's all about making strategic moves now to set up a winning season. Washington's front office has shown a willingness to be aggressive before, and it looks like they're willing to do whatever it takes to make this season special. And looking at the bigger picture, it's fascinating to see how this situation reflects the new era of NFL team management. Contracts, trades, veteran signings, everything is more dynamic than ever. The Commanders are no longer just a team trying to rebuild. They're a team trying to contend, trying to make their mark in a highly competitive league. And with players like Deebo Samuel, McLaurin, and potentially Cooper, they're positioning themselves to be a major force in the NFC this year. So fans, what do you think? Do you believe Washington can pull off signing Cooper and still keep McLaurin? Or do you think the team will end up trading their star receiver? How do you feel about the direction of the team heading into what promises to be an intense, exciting season? I want to hear all your thoughts. Drop your comments below. Your opinion truly matters, not just to us, but to the entire Washington Commanders community. And remember, I'll be back very soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Washington Commanders news. This team is full of surprises, and every move they make could be the one that defines their season. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's keep that passion alive. Go Commanders!